Hallo und willkommen. Ich bin Meister Lenze and you're watching Get Germanized, German words that have almost been forgotten, part 7. In this series we look at words that have almost been forgotten in the German language, but we will try to keep them from extinction, well, with using them in everyday German. I hope you will help me with this endeavor, and I would say let us get started right away. Lasst uns anfangen.
All on board. What should I do?
Ich weiß.
First up, der Trockenwohner, the dry dweller, the Trockenwohner. This is a term for tenants during the industrialization who lived temporarily in new buildings that had not yet been completely dried out, hence Trockenwohner. Next up, a rather naughty word, der Hahnrei. Hahnrei, the cuckold, I think you call this in English, a term first used for castrated roosters, and since the High Middle Ages applied to, well, betrayed husbands. Also der Gehörnte, the horned or cuckolded husband in German. Der Hahnrei. Would you use this rather than cuckold? I mean, both words aren't that nice, to be honest. Next up, a more fun word, der Gummitwist, the rubber twist. Bouncing with a rubber rope, a popular children's game in, well, schoolyards. In this case, the word died out before the actual game. Because although people stopped talking about der Gummitwist a long time ago, in most schoolyards it was still practiced willingly and extensively during recess. I wonder, do children these days still do der Gummitwist? Or what do they do in schoolyards? I don't know, I'm old. Let me know in the comments below. Next up is another fun word. It is der Gesichtserker, der Gesichtserker, the face bow front, well, a nose. Especially in cabaret texts or caricatures with texts, the Gesichtserker appears again and again until, well, it completely dies out from about the middle of the 80s, I think, onwards. Unfortunately so, because der Gesichtserker is fun to say and more fun than just Nase. Next up is a word that, well, some of you might remember. It is der Groschen, der Groschen. This is what the 10 Pfennig or penny piece was called. And a Notgroschen, an emergency Groschen, was a term for money you'd only use, well, in an emergency. So der Groschen and der Notgroschen. Do you still have a Notgroschen or do you live check by check? Let me know. Next up is der Duckmäuser. Der Duckmäuser. This is another favorite of mine, just because it sounds fun. I actually knew people who used this back when I was a kid, der Duckmäuser, but haven't heard it since. It is, well, a yes man, someone who ducks away and denies his own opinion or attitude and does not want to take on a task. A perfect yes man, der Duckmäuser. Next up, similar to the English word, or the British English word loo, der Locus, well, the loo. This is another word for the toilet. Das stille Örtchen, aka the quiet place, is another thing we say in German. Another fun one. Das stille Örtchen, the silent place. Which one do you prefer? Das stille Örtchen or der Locus? Let me know. Next up is a word that not many people have heard of, I don't think at least. It is die Joppe. Die Joppe. Or a heavy jacket. A term for a jacket without a waist, usually made of thick woolen fabric. Or for the home, for example, also part of the traditional Bavarian clothes. Die Joppe. Next up is der Dünkel. Der Dünkel. Nicht dunkel, like dark, but der Dünkel. The arrogance or conceit. This derives from sich dünken, for, well, overestimating oneself. To set oneself apart, basically. Dünkel. Another fun word that has almost died out, unfortunately. This next one is fun and is still used every now and then, I believe at least. Das Anhängsel. Das Anhängsel. The appendage, basically. An Anhängsel can be a small piece of jewelry or memorabilia that is worn on a chain, well, among other things. Colloquially, however, an Anhängsel is rather an inferior, superfluous accompaniment of, well, something. This was sometimes used to describe a person as well. Some people would actually describe themselves as, well, ich bin nur das Anhängsel. I'm only the appendage of another person, which is kind of sad if you ask me, but it is still a fun word to use. Next up is Betthupferl. Betthupferl, not someone who jumps on beds, but a bedtime snack. The word Betthupferl or Betthupferl sounds really sweet, and well, that fits kind of, because sometimes bedtime snacks are a little something maybe sweet to eat. Most of the time these are sweets that are snacked on before going to bed. Often you can find them in, well, hotels on the pillow, this little chocolate, the Betthupferl. And here is a word free of charge for you, an extra word, so to speak. Das Blubberwasser. Das Blubberwasser, the bubble water. Bubbly water is a carbonated drink loved by many and hated by most. Seltzer, or also called water with fizz. Bubbly water definitely sounds cuter though. Blubberwasser. However, bubbling water is also often used to describe the bubbling water in whirlpools and the like. So Blubberwasser could be both. What do you think? Do you like this one? Which one was your favorite of the words we used today? And which one would you actually still use in conversations? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. This really helps out the channel. And share this video with your friends who also want to learn about, well, German words that have almost been forgotten. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get Germanized. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.